video tutorial working with word problems and algebra and using algebra to solve a wide variety of problems. In this case, we're particularly working with this video on consecutive odd numbers. It can be a tricky problem for students, and I will help you guys give a good example with what consecutive odd numbers means and just how to work through a problem like this. So here we go. We've got the sum of two consecutive odd numbers is equal to the product of 4 and the smaller number less 8. What are the two numbers? Now before you throw your pencil in the air and say, I hate math, let's start looking for just some of those keywords and work through what we can, starting to translate the problem. So I've got the sum, okay? We're adding something together, of two consecutive odd numbers. We'll get to that, but is equal to the product, I'm multiplying something, the product of 4, so we'll put 4 times, and the smaller number, less 8. So less 8 means I have a minus 8 going on there. So now let's talk about consecutive odd numbers. There we got a good start, right? So consecutive odd numbers means there are numbers that are right after each other, but they're odd. So consecutive odd numbers could be 3 and 5. Those are two odd numbers. 5 is the first odd number right after 3. It could be 71 and 73. Those are consecutive odd numbers. It could be negative 101 and negative 99. Those are consecutive odd numbers. So we're looking for two numbers. They both have to be odd, and they have to be one right after the other. So now how do we do that with algebra? Well, notice the first number compared to the second number is always 2 greater, right? Plus 2, plus 2. So algebra, we're just looking at patterns, and we're trying to represent what we have going on. The pattern seems to be if x is a number, the next consecutive odd integer or number should be x plus 2, 2 more than it. So here we go. Let's let x be the smallest number. We're going to define what x is. The smaller number, since there's only two of them. So since they're consecutive odd numbers, the next one has to be x plus 2. I can't just do x plus 1 because they're odd. They both have to be odd. So x plus 2 is the larger number. All right, now let's put that in with our problem here. The sum of two consecutive odd numbers, so x plus 2, there's my two numbers, two consecutive odd numbers being added together, is equal to the product of 4 and the smaller number less 8. Well, x is the smaller number, so it looks like you need to have the smaller number less 8. And the word and helps me know that the product 4 times all of this, in parentheses, the smaller number less 8. So that can be kind of confusing to interpret. It's not just 4 times the smaller number, it's 4 and the smaller number less 8. Okay, so let's write this whole thing out and then let's solve it. So here we go. X plus 2 is equal to 4 times x minus 8. Let's solve this thing out now. I'm going to want to distribute and combine like terms. Let's start with the right side. 4 multiplied by x and 4 multiplied by the 8. I get 4 times x minus 4 times 8 is 32. Just a distributive property. On the left side, with the plus sign in front of the parentheses, I don't need them anymore. So I have x plus 2, and I can rewrite that whole thing now as 2x plus 2 equals 4x minus 32. There we go. Simplified both sides separately. Now let's look at getting 1x by itself on one side. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to move the 32 over. I'm going to add 32. I'm going to combine my constants. What do I've got now? 2x minus 2x goes to 0. Negative 32 plus 32, those go to 0. So we've now got 34, 2 plus 32, is equal to 4x minus 2x, which is just 2x. And from my very last step, I'm going to divide both sides by 2 to get x by itself, and x equals 17. Okay, let's give some meaning to it. I'm not done. I need to actually find what are the two numbers. So here, I'm going to go back to how I defined my variables. That's key. If x is 17, I've said x is the smaller number. So the smaller number is 17, which means the larger number is 19. So let's answer the question. The two numbers are 17 and 19. All right, there's an example of a word problem with consecutive odd numbers and how to approach it.